pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call, please.
Mr. DeCiccio?
Here.
Mr. George?
Here.
Ms. Master Francesca?
Here.
At this time, this is our work session. We usually don't have anyone in the audience speak, but I talked to Bill. He wanted to discuss something with the board. So it's your floor. You're up, Bill.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. I know Frank and you.
Okay.
I know the other people here. I'm a local resident down the road in Dimitia Plant.
This is Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa, Master Francesca. Very nice to meet you.
And Rich George.
All of you. Appreciate you inviting me out, Bill, to talk about the Red Friday's troop support movement.
May I get your address, please?
Yes. Yes, it's 321. Just here, I'll give you my cards, and I think that would be the same, because I have the Mediterranean Irish name.
Okay.
Which I tell everybody, Piafadio, so I tell everybody it's Mediterranean Irish.
These are Sears employees, that's how.
Okay.
Yeah, Frank and I go back over 20 years together.
Great, thank you.
So he's another face that I know here. In any event, thank you for inviting me out here. Most people on the street and out there are not familiar with this Red Fridays movement. And what this is all about, this is a grassroots program that was started probably over 20 years ago mostly by the families of our deployed troops. And we have a lot of them. They're still in Afghanistan for over 20 years, coming back with their limbs missing. But I caught hold of this idea. T-shirts, most of them are just having some sort of a patriotic T-shirt. This one happens to be one of mine that I custom designed. I'll show you what else I'm doing. But the word wasn't getting out. It kind of stayed down in the bushes. So I've been, of course, I'm an Army veteran. I enlisted in 1957 right out of high school. And I've always been a supporter of our military.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Richard's a veteran also.
Good. So when this came into my sphere, I said, you know, we've got to do something about this to elevate this idea and make more people aware of what's going on. So when the wheels started going, and this is even before I got to Sears Frank, I designed this billboard. Let me show you something. Oh, sorry, that's the new one. I've been busy just. This is the one that I designed, okay, and I'll pass this around. And I commissioned, with a lot of walking and talking about every local elected politician in Beaver County, every sportsman's club, VFWs, you name it. I was able to commission 5 of these and put these up all through Beaver County. These are 12 by 25 foot billboards, you know, as big as that ball. That's what it looked like. You can see that up close.
Thank you.
Okay, and that little guy down in the corner,
That's you.
recognize him, that's me. That's the only one that
He's
I
cute.
could access. That was up out of East Rochester, and fortunately it was at ground level, so I was able to get in there.
May I ask you a question? On the bottom it says Beaver County Patriots. Are you affiliated with the Patriot Riders or no? That's
I am
something
not.
okay.
I'm not. What that signifies is through all my walking and talking and soliciting, I was able to commission 5 of those built by finding supporters for them. That wasn't quite an easy task. Went to the politicians first. The response was not there, very little. So I can pass it back to you if you haven't seen that. I was trying to figure out how can I get this message out. Typically, I wasn't getting the real support except for a few. I was able to, Jim Marshall, who is the state representative down out of Chippewa, stepped up and he sponsored the board. The rest came from these other organizations, and they actually bought the board, and it was took my design, and I was fortunate that I was able to make connections with a local billboard company, John Medved, and if you know Crest Advertising. Well, he just happens to be a Korean War veteran, and he said, I can help you with this. He came up with some basically cost plus amount for the cost of the boards. He took my design and put them up. So that's an expensive proposition. Unfortunately, the contracts only last for 30 days. You spend this money 30 days and they're gone. So my new approach, of course, now is to put this in a more feasible sign design at a better price. So I took that and had this is my new design, and I had this professionally redesigned by a graphics designer. He just took my motif and put some life into it. I'm very pleased with that, and I'm doing these in 4 feet by 8 feet signs. I already have one installed in case you want to see what it looks like up in the air right in front of Allen's Ace Hardware store. It's 10 feet off the ground. Tony is a veteran and a good guy, and he stepped up. I was able to get some support quite a bit physically. We designed this and built this board. I designed it, and we built it. And I'll explain how I got some support to do this physically. We built this treated lumber structure. I was able to get one of your guys, Center Township guys, who is does the auger drilling, got him to drill some holes. We put it up, and it's up there now for you to see. Now what I also did, this thing is in motion, and there's another thing that happened. I don't know if you saw this in the news, you read this in the news sometimes, you can see it in our area here. We lost 2 good soldiers in this area, and one of them just happens to be a Hopewell High School graduate, this Dylan Elchin. Okay, so what I did, when my wheels started turning again, I said, this is a local kid, 25 years old, one of those IEDs, which is the hidden explosives that they have all over Afghanistan. So what I did is I designed this commemorative ribbon across the bottom of my sign that we're putting up now. I took this to the Hopewell superintendent and the principal, and they loved it. They've adopted this, and they're going to be putting it all through the Hopewell School District this year. And they're also going to designate a Red Fridays Day for the student body to take this in his honor. I was fortunate enough to, by coincidence, to talk to the grandfather of this young man. He had no idea that I was doing this. I was very surprised, and I'm going to meet with him shortly. So, to make a long story short, as I said, when I did this initially, I was telling Frank when I did the billboards, I was fortunate to meet with our then Congressman Keith Rothfuss. Okay, and this is not about politics. This is patriotism, and he took this story to the floor of the United States Congress on June 15th last year. And then he told his story, and then he put it on his social media page. And I got 16,293 likes. So, you know, I've been busy kind of doing this, and I'm still at it. As long as I can walk and talk and get out there and, you know, and talk to people, I'm going to keep doing it. So where I'm at now, I'm looking for other sponsors to put this up, and I'm not looking for a saturation thing where I want a billboard on every corner. I have one in Aliquippa. I would love to have one. I think you're a great location here, center, thriving municipality. I know Frank, the prime mover here. The cost of this board, this is actually, I have a contract, is $390 for this board. Let me show you how this thing is made. This is a special composite board. This, by the way, Dogish Sign Company, if any of you are not here know who he is. This is a composite board. This is a double-sided aluminum skin on here. When they print the material on a special vinyl, it's attached to these boards, and then they put a sealing filament over it. So this is a permanent board. You put this up, it's going to be there for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. You can see it. It's tough. Now that can be attached just against a flush wall, probably with some with a furring or something suitable back, or on the one I erected down on Allen's. We did 4x6 treated lumber and 4x4 supports across with a plywood backing. Took a little bit of effort to do that. It's a tough board.
How big was that sign? 390
4 feet by 8 feet, sorry. Oops, I'm sorry.
Now, will this be the size, Bill, or is it going to be a bigger sign?
4 feet by 8 feet.
Oh, okay, they'll all be 4 by 8.
That's just a little
That's
miniature version
So
of
it'd be a 4.
it. It's a very strong. That's what they're doing commercially. all this enterprise that's going on behind Beaver Valley Mall, which Frank is involved with. Dovish Sign Company is putting up all the sign work done. They're very professional, good guys, and they know their business. And they produce the work. So the reason I'm here tonight is to extend my offer at Center Township, which is a great community. I wish I had built here when I did. I was just telling Frank, I just quite couldn't afford it at that time. But in any event, I would love to have you guys, consider putting one of the boards up in a good spot here or on your building, whatever you want to do, and cooperate in, getting it up, however you want to do it.
I looked at, when he first came in, I thought we could do it at the beginning of the park over here. We could put one up at the beginning of the park. Everybody that goes to the park and comes to the township building would see the sign.
Now, do you purchase the sign, or?
No, that was the next step.
Yeah.
If you decide to do that, I have a contract here, just say from Dover Sign Company. I don't get involved in the money aspect of it. I don't want to be involved in anybody's money. You make out a check, it goes directly to Dovish Sign. We'll get the sign produced and arrange to, getting it here, and I'll be happy to, cooperate in getting it up in your location. Like I say, when we did it that day down there, I think I put, I think 120 pounds of concrete in each hole. It was a 15-foot hole with a 4-foot deep, and we got it up there. It took a little bit of effort. Typically, I won't be doing that. It was because it was a special effort with Tony Allen, but I will do whatever I can. I'll, haul wood, cut, dig holes, whatever I can to help anybody who wants to do this. Or if it gets put up on the side of a building, that's a no-brainer. Put up some special treated furring and just attach this to it, and you got it. The whole object, this message needs to get out. I'm very passionate about this. Our guys are over there losing their limbs. They're not coming back here. We've been over there over 10 years. This is one of the longest military histories in our country. You're a veteran, I'm sure you're aware of that. People have to know about it. Just the t-shirts don't get it. This is just one of the many that I've already done. I just had this is the one that I did with the memorial. I'm going to present this to his grandfather. His grandfather went to Dover, Delaware to receive his body. He has no idea that I'm doing this, but I will make the contact very soon with him.
Nice.
That's going to him. And the other ones, it's the same shirt. Of course, it's just without the memorial. Now, I'm not here to sell t-shirts. I want to qualify that right off the bat. I'm not here to sell t-shirts. I had them made. I've had some people ask me for it. If they want them, fine. If not, that's no problem. All I want is to get the message out. I'm solely driven by getting this done. And that's as much as I can tell you. I'm just out there now. Like I said, I sent out probably close to 50 letters in the mail to every organization. This stuff has gone up to the White House, by the way. I've pushed it as far as I can. And we need to elevate this and keep it elevated. We've got to keep this message out there, plain and simple. That's the end of my story, folks. And I appreciate you letting me, come in here and talk to you about it.
We can discuss it as a board, and we can get back with you. You have your card, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm leaving my card with you here, and I can be reached by either one. I'm just 5 minutes down the road in the T, so I'm close.
Okay.
So if you should decide to do that, which I greatly, not for me, it's for our guys that are still over there in Afghanistan. We got to get them back, with all their body parts attached.
Thank you. Very nice message.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very
Thanks
much.
for coming out.
Come in.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Bill. Thank you.
Bill, take care.
All right, Frank. This is-
We'll move on to, anyone else would like to speak since Bill's supposed to? Engineer report, Ned?
National Fuel, the MOU signed by the township, and I believe their attorney advised that they also signed it, so it should be coming back. And I believe we have a tentative date for next week for pre-construction for the work. Yeah, so their documents are coming in, so 2019 road program, we're going to open bids on April 10th.
Back here, I'll get out of
We
here.
have the listing of drawings here. CCB, CP Tech Phase 2 site plan approval. We did review this plan. They satisfied all the comments. So if the board's inclined, we would need a motion to approve that plan.
Make a motion.
Second.
Yes.
Standard details, we had discussed updating the roadway and some other details. They're nearly complete. I'm going to review them with Mr. George, and then we can put it in front of the board for a vote and then update those. They'll build standard construction details. I think the last time they were updated was like 25 years ago, 20 years ago. And the last item is, excuse me, Cottonwood Drive. We did go out and review it. I have some photos here for those that didn't see it, but I'll do a letter with backup, provide it to Shell, and then effectively this slide area is not it's not on township property. It's only located within the residential properties. I have more photos here, and all the properties drain to the township roadways. So we don't have any facilities that drain through these parcels. So it's really, in my opinion, it's a private property matter. So my suggestion would be to them that we'll add in the letters. They could either hire a geotechnical engineer or a competent contractor that works with her. So I'll have that to Michelle by the end as well. I'm taking the rest of the week off, so it'll be early next week.
Is that all you have?
Yes, unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Nick? Move on to solicitor's report.
The first item, which was in the paper for advertising, would be this ordinance permitting dog parks on public property. As you recall, the park ordinance does not allow for unrestrained animals. This essentially just clarifies what is a public park area and what is a dog park area, allowing for animals, dogs to be unrestrained within the park. And the ordinance also permits the board to, from time to time, adopt a resolution setting forth regulations and making those subject to penalties, just as any other park violations would be. So the motion would be for you to adopt that ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Yes.
Sign that. And as far as the regulations go, they're pretty much drafted out. I mean, this is something that we can probably by next meeting have you guys sign off on. But again, the way I have them drafted, I'll send them out to you so you have them just as drafted. There are things you would typically consider, cleaning up after your animal, using trash receptacles, the park hours. It probably will go along with what we normally have, but there's like as I understand, a gated area where you'll take your pet in, and then that'll close, and then you take your leash off and let them run around. So there's some different considerations I wanted to make sure we're taken care of legally that you want to consider in that circumstance, being that it's on public property. So we'll have that good to go.
The regulations, if I may ask, is that anything that would prohibit that from opening? Okay.
I mean, you have your typical park hour. It's just, again, it's just kind of like a subset of the park itself. So you really, obviously, if people don't clean up for their dog, that's one thing. But I think we have a meeting right after that opens, I understand. So we're not going to be prohibited from doing that. And the only other matter I have is it's for executive session that deals with the condemnation case we filed with regard to the Malbrook Road.
Okay. Is that all you have?
That's it.
Old business, recycling bins and trash. We did put that on hold last meeting. I don't know if anyone has anything on that.
Until everyone's here? Hold it until everyone's here? Or?
Yeah,
Wait till everybody's, that's what I thought.
Okay. Both, or do you want to set a date for the condemnation meeting? Rucker said he would be here, but he was unable. I'm sorry.
Consolidation. Yeah, what day's good for us? He said give 2 days that are good for us, and then he'll. 8, 9, and 10 is bad for me. Next week
Yeah, next week's.
is bad.
Maybe the week after. We can even check with Doc, see
Yeah.
if he wanted to be involved.
So
Does
we're gonna
anyone
make
know what
any-
George is doing about that?
I'm not sure.
I have something for him to sign, and I said, do you want us to mail it to you? And he says, no, I'll be home soon, but he didn't give me a date.
Why don't I check with him and Doc, and then we'll get a date, and I'll just email everybody. See what's good. Because they might want to be.
But we're gonna be looking at the week of the 15th, though, if we
Maybe
can.
the 15th, is that good? That week?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. we'll do that. Then I'll let you know. I'll let you know, Rochelle.
Okay, yeah, because he was,
Okay. Committee report, Rich?
Nothing at this time?
Please.
I have nothing at this time.
Frank, you have anything?
I'm good.
Chief
Nothing.
Kramer? John?
Nothing.
New business set dates for Lakeview 5 PRD.
You gotta do both. You gotta do a conditional use hearing and the PRD hearing at the same time, if you wanna do them at the same time.
It'd be the same factors. you'll have
But
to
you
consider.
gotta advertise them as both hearings at the
You want-
same time.
did they apply for the conditional use yet? I don't think they did. Did they?
I think so.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember them.
Should we do it like before our next meeting, or
There we go.
how much time do you need for that?
We need at least two successive weeks.
Why would we do it the following?
When was their application?
Well, we've got an extension of 75 days.
When was that from?
Oh, from the end of the
The last plan.
last plan, yeah.
Which one?
Hold on, let me take a step back. It was a 60-day clock that ran with submission of the application. They agreed to 75 days on top of 65.
So what's
135 days.
Yeah.
So if we take
We have a lot of time.
135 days from the date of the application, I think it would be good if we scheduled it within the next,
I said we do.
within the next 2 meetings at
You
the
do it
max,
the-
because we have post.
The May 6th meeting.
Yeah, let's get it as soon as we can.
We have another one also that I didn't put on here that just came in. It's for a daycare center in where Boat World was. So that's another conditional use. She
And
turned
that's-
everything in on. However, she didn't,
I don't think she can yet. She hasn't come to
You wanna-
planning.
yeah, she-
And they
Oh,
don't
if
even
it's-
have a
if
plan
it's-
next
it's
week.
on dates
so
that
should
work,
we,
then
yeah,
you
she
don't have to-
applied, but we,
If
I
we can go through
contacted her
the-
and she
Yeah.
hasn't gotten back. They need to go to planning commission, but she applied already, so is that okay that we don't?
Yeah, because if it's not complete, the application has to include those certain items. If it's
Well, she
not-
didn't draw, she didn't put plans or
Yeah, and if
anything.
they're not
Okay, well then
complete,
that's
it's not
good, that's why. I
complete,
didn't
I
put it
told her
on.
you need a plan in order for us to put conditions on. There's no plan.
Yeah, she.
Do you want to do it for that May 6th meeting then? Or
Yeah.
that's as soon as we can do it?
So you wanna do both at the same time, May 6th?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be hearing the
Right.
same.
What, at 6, at what time?
Well, our meeting's at 4:30. Do you want to do it
I'd say.
right after the meeting, or?
Do it at 4:30?
I'd say
Want to do
I'd advertise
4:30
before
then,
4:30.
and then
We can have. Everyone,
we should. I'll make sure
We have to give,
Rich at least.
I'll make Carolyn know.
What is that? May 5th?
May 6th.
May 6th.
May 6th.
Be around.
I'm gonna be coming in at 4:30. So I'm gonna be
we could do it
here at
for.
5:30. My son comes in at 4:30.
Well, we still might have.
And that's boring, you don't get delayed.
Come on, no delays.
George will be back by that.
Yeah.
I'm under the
We'll
If that
just-
impression.
we'll just
changes,
set
yeah,
it.
if that change, you can authorize me to advertise.
I'll check to make
for it,
sure,
and if-
advertise
and
it.
if it changes,
We
then.
make
I'll
it-
check with the other
we make
two.
it at 5:30. You'll be fine.
Well-
We're advertising the meeting anyways. If you wanna make it about an hour later.
Meeting's already advertised.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the
just-
conditional
yeah.
use.
Yeah, we just tell the meeting. to
We'll just
start
make sure
right
we
after.
have, and then you can come right after.
Well,
That's fine.
Or not.
And then we have to notify all the property owners within 300 feet of the parcel 15 days prior to the hearing. And there's a,
Ton of people.
Is that gonna give us enough time to make?
yes,
Okay.
we're
I
fine.
mean, we're good? Okay.
Rochelle and I already,
I already have the,
she already had.
everything's ready.
She already had some lists.
The labels are done, and
Oh,
it
okay.
just needs
So
a
we're
matter of
good.
sticking them on
Just
the
plan it for
envelope.
May 6th, and then I'll check with the other two supervisors. Make sure. Okay, new business then, anything else?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to fill a vacant seat on the zoning hearing board, and it would be Jean Eschbau's position. I would like to nominate Jake Morrison.
second?
Yes.
Yes.
Anything else further from anybody else before we adjourn? We'll be going into executive session for litigation on the Mall Loop Road. If there's nothing further, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.